We are live.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, so what's been going on?
Yeah, September was our best month actually. So
Nice.
feels good. And then it's funny, like literally a couple like the new month, October 1st, we got an email from YouTube saying that we can't target certain keywords. 80% of our revenue was off one audience for men typing in marriage counseling. And YouTube's rolling out this thing in I think a month or two, I think 2 months, saying that you can't target that specific audience along some other audiences because it's those people are like in a kind of a sensitive, volatile, vulnerable state.
Oh my
so
God.
they see that as predatory. That
What?
you're targeting.
Oh my God. Wow. That's just ridiculous.
I know, right? Instead of seeing like that we are a company that can help people through trauma and like, become better, and like they take the position that we're actually like preying on them.
Wow. That's horrible.
It's like, does a doctor prey on somebody who's sick? I don't know, man. That's So, and then to make matters even better, John, yesterday our ads just got shut down. We have no idea why on YouTube, all of them.
Nuh-uh.
Swear.
Damn.
I know. And so Marco, he reached out to YouTube and they said, yeah, we can set up a call with you in a couple of days. And it's like, we have 3 sales reps who need like calls for their livelihood. And it's just like, so yeah, that's what I mean by ups and downs. Right now, our strategy is I wrote a couple of emails to the email list to hopefully get some calls in the next couple of days. Fill the calendars, some two good emails that hopefully will do well to our list. And then we're just ramping up YouTube and trying to figure out how to like fight against risk, diversify. And like, we're thinking obviously the organic channel, trying to grow that as fast as possible and get that going. But other than that, like, we're just trying to like come up with ideas how to like fight against this type of risk. Cause you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
I guess I'm going to buy Rumble stock today.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Yeah, seriously.
What'd you hit for numbers for your best, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, we did 218.
Oh, nice, dude. That's good. That's awesome. At least that'll kind of ride you through this bump here.
But yeah, man. My biggest concern is not about me personally. It's making sure our reps' calendars are full and they have calls, because like,
because they
don't have calls, then why would they want to work with us, right? So I'm just trying to figure out how to fill their calendar with quality leads. We also increased our Facebook ads, but Facebook is so inconsistent and the leads are not the best quality. So
So YouTube leads were better. That was the thing.
Oh yeah, YouTube was fantastic with like it was like I said, it was 80% from that one audience. And it was like good quality leads. And so like I don't know, like we weren't really controversial in my opinion in like what we said in the ads either. Like the one thing I can latch onto that was like maybe controversial is that we said we could save your marriage in like this time span, and we based it off our best results from clients. And one of our competitors does the same exact his whole program is save your marriage in 8 weeks, and he puts that on Facebook. Facebook is more strict, and he has ads on it at work. So I can't really, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, tomorrow, I think. So
I mean, what you should do, well, I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, definitely shows the need that you have to diversify your lead sources, right? So you're going to have to come up with some other, I mean, TikTok maybe also too. I hear a lot of people doing TikTok advertising, having a lot of good success, but
really,
yeah. Apparently that platform is really good as far in terms of the price right now. It's kind of like how Facebook was.
But my biggest concern is like, can you target like people searching marriage counseling? And like, I mean, does someone even go on TikTok? Yeah, exactly.
He can't target very, very well on TikTok, but I mean, the cost is super, super low. But one thing I think you guys should do is you should just dominate the what was the keyword? Is marriage counseling?
Marriage counseling, yeah.
Yeah, you should just dominate that keyword on YouTube just organically. Just try to like make so much content about that, like good quality content, and then replace the need. Then it'll be like YouTube's like, okay, we won't take your money for ads, but it doesn't matter because you don't need the ads, like get them for free. So
yeah, just try to rank highest on the search terms, right?
Yeah,
man.
I don't think that's a difficult one. Like if you create, I mean, like the content creators that you're probably competing against, you can probably smoke them, you know, with, you know, because because you'll be able to create a lot higher quality content. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Like trying to outrank those guys for watch time and thumbnail. And I've been pumping out content. Like I have a lot of videos I made for the channel. And they're like in queue. We're trying to do like literally six posts a day, like 3 shorts, 3 long form videos, kind of like Alex from earlier. Just, but I guess like it would make sense to like look at the top key search words and then like do a really high quality video on those ones.
Yeah, for sure.
For evergreen. Yeah. Any other like, I thought like maybe a good idea was using your strategy of like the Instagram outbound, like maybe for the shorts, like people who comment on the shorts about like marriage counseling help, like we have the people reach out to them.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely, I think that definitely makes sense to do.
And you hired an agency to do that or no?
Yeah, I've got, well, I mean, the same guys that are doing the sales, like the outsourced sales, they hired a guy to do the DMing. So
I'm gonna grab my paper. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We can definitely test TikTok. And then IG. Yeah, my only concern with Instagram is like, will our audience be on there? But like, I guess if we make a short that's like how to save your marriage, and then we're getting a guy commenting like, "Oh, my wife, this never work on my wife" or something. It's like, yeah, reach out to him, right?
yeah, I think that makes sense. I think it also makes sense to do stuff like that's tangentially related, in the sense that like for Instagram, for TikTok, can you create videos where it's like a problem that someone would have, that, you know, because they have this problem, that they have a failing or failed marriage, right? Like, you know, like even things like, you know, you're you know, something about like your wife doesn't have sex with you or whatever, like you haven't had sex, or you know, something like, what's another big problem that's like, I don't know, I'm sure you can think of all the problems that the guys in your program actually have, and then figure out, you know, then you're kind of indirectly like, you know, that people that are biting on this likely have marriage problems, or in that state.
Yeah, and I think for TikTok, like just funnel the traffic to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many other ways to like tap into markets, right? Like if I could find some creator or some person who has like our ideal audience. For example, have you heard of Order of Man?
Yeah.
So his,
Yeah,
his
Ryan.
Facebook group has like I think 40 or 60,000, like a lot of people, right?
Right.
And he actually scheduled a call with us for a lead as like, and we don't know if it's like he's actually needing help in his marriage, or because if he was, when we help him out, that'd be a great potential partnership. But like, or he's just creating some marriage thing and he wants to like check out our program.
Oh,
But like weighing the cost benefit analysis, I think it's worth helping him. You know what I mean? Or do you think this or no?
I mean, definitely. I mean, yeah, you know, that would definitely be a big one. I mean, if he was, I don't know if he'd be willing to talk about it if that came to it, but.
Well, I mean, like if we help him save his marriage or improve his marriage, and he's like, cool, like I have anyone.
Yeah, then it makes sense because then he would want to share that with his audience for sure, right? So as a resource, even if he didn't talk about his own story. So
yeah, cool. Any other like? I mean, we should only. I mean, I'm not thinking of like other ways, but I mean, honestly, we should only focus our attention on like 1 or 2, right? That was like other than ads, instead of like spread ourselves too thin, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to figure out a couple other sources. I think the direct outreach is something that you guys should master. To me, that makes sense.
Because that's been it's been profitable for you, right?
Yeah, and it's like the thing about it is it's definitely, I mean, it's just like you would imagine it would be, right? Like it's like cold calling people on the phone, right? It's like dialing numbers, but so it's not a very high hit rate. It's like 1 out of 1,000 or something like that. You know, I got to get the exact stats on it, but But the thing about it is no one can shut you down, and it's infinitely scalable. Or pretty close to infinitely scalable.
Yeah.
No one can shut you down if you're reaching out to people on DMs.
Yeah, because you could
People
just create
can, people
another
can shut
account.
down. Oh, they're reaching out from random accounts. They're not reaching out from your accounts.
No, they're reaching out from my account, but I'm just saying you could always just create another account. Like you could always, like no one can stop you from messaging people, and you know.
People get their accounts shut down all the time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like you can just start a new account. Like there's no reason why. Like it's not. Plus, if you're messaging people, you're not going to get shut
Well,
down.
you're gonna be effective if it's coming from your account rather than just some random account, right?
Yeah, for sure, it'll be more effective for sure. But
Yeah, I mean, because if it's coming from random, they're like, I don't even know who's sending me this message about this other guy. So
yeah,
that becomes a problem. But no, people do get shut down for over messaging. Like they get timeouts, then warnings, shutdowns. All of those things happen if you do too much messaging and people are not responding or they're reporting it as whatever.
I think if it's a totally cold audience, perhaps, um, but yeah, I mean, we haven't had any issues at all with it.
Yeah, it's a
And there's more platforms. I mean, you have LinkedIn, you've got an infinite number of platforms that you could utilize cold messaging outreach.
yeah, DMs of all variety.
Yeah. The other thing I wonder what might work in your space, Josh, is buying leads. Have you looked into buying leads?
Where would I source those from?
There's companies that sell leads for different industries. Like sell like qualified leads. For example, let's say that you're doing roof repair or something, right? You could buy leads and they have a site set up or whatever. They have some way of gaining the traffic. What's his name? Millionaire Fastlane, MJ DeMarco, his first company or the company he sold was essentially he sold leads for taxi drivers.
Yeah, they're usually though like very demographic, like dependent on a specific, like okay, dentists, lawyers, high earners, things like that, right? But for his case, his use case is more of someone who is on the verge of divorce or like
Yeah, my only concern with that, John, is these guys, I would say they're only in like a 2 to 3 month buying period where like situation happens and either they reconcile with their wife or their wife it's over.
Right.
So like
right.
yeah, that's the only issue with that.
what about affiliates? You have a ton of affiliates, joint venture partnerships.
No, we don't. That's what I was just saying. I was like, this is what this order man guy. And John, I'm gonna switch to my computer if that's cool, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, those lists, man. The lists are very like, how would you say it? They're not like, they're more of this age
Oh,
group. They make this much money. You find that person, or
but they
this
might
kind
have.
of,
Yeah.
or this kind of engineer, doctor, lawyer, accountant. All of those things they can find the list. But someone on like a 3 month problem cycle is not really a list for that, except for social media, like influencers or owners of lists.
I don't know if that's true. I think there's leads that are targeted to specific problems. Like, let me see. Let me take a look at some of these. But it's worth it.
Yeah,
I
those.
mean, call the lead companies up, and ask them. I mean, you'll find if you just look up buy leads, like there's this one exact data. Because a lot of them set up these websites where it's like they're getting traffic to this website, and then the website might be something like get a free help on your marriage, and or how to handle your divorce or something like that. I mean, I'm sure that divorce attorneys are buying leads, so it's the same lead. I mean, they're probably expensive leads, right? Because you're competing with divorce attorneys, which are trying to, get those leads. But I bet you can find targeted leads on that.
Yeah, I get we can definitely look into it. Yeah, it's just the biggest concern is how old is that list? Because
Yeah, the
But I'm
churn
not
on
talking
that
about
would be
lists.
too.
I'm not talking about lists. Don't buy lists. Don't buy list leads. I'm not talking about email leads. I think
Okay.
that's a waste of time. I'm talking about just straight up phone leads, right? Just call them, contact them directly,
Okay.
because I don't trust email list leads at all.
Hmm.
I mean, they'll probably include their email list in there, but if it's primarily like email list leads, I've never heard of anyone doing good with buying email leads.
Mm. Cool. That's me. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. I got a bunch of different things I can try out in terms of the issue.
How big is your email list?
Ours?
Hmm.
We just started our offer and like it's not even a year old. We have about, I think, 15,000.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still growing it. But it's good. I mean, we're consistently growing it day by day. I mean, we only been running this offer for, it's funny, man. Like it took us so long to get to like 100K, and then we were focused on all these different offers, and then like we had a really low month in June, and then we're like, all right, let's just double down on just this one offer. Like, not even posting on the main channel anymore, and just double down on this one thing, and then like you get the right market, and like our sales team's doing well. It's like skyrocketing, so.
Yeah, focus.
Focus, exactly. Focus block.
Uh, uh,
It'd be good too, I think, also for you to just like try to get on a bunch of different podcasts and
Yeah.
whatnot, because
Yeah.
like you gotta like the good thing about your niche is that 50% of marriages end in divorce, and so like at some given time any audience is going through that, and there's a high probability that like a large percentage of someone's audience is going through that.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a limiting belief or not. Before I go into interviews and stuff, I kind of want to just like I want to fix our branding a little bit and our message, get that down, and like just get the flywheel results going a little bit more, and like kind of like polish stuff. But that could be a limiting belief on my part.
Yeah, I think you should just go. I mean, it's never going to be where you want it to be.
Sure.
I think, yeah, because you can. There's no reason why you can't get on the podcast again. Like it's like, it's not like you're going to use it all up.
Yeah. Cool. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, buying leads, podcast, books. Yeah. Lots of other ways to diversify that marketing, but it is unfortunate. But yeah, YouTube, that can happen, just any day. Like, nope, your stuff's shut down. Like, you guys take that as a lesson from me.
Yeah.
it's good though, man. But I mean, the fact that you focused and you broke through and you doubled your revenue, that's good. Like you'll get these things come back. Like it's not like they're gone
Yeah.
forever. Almost everyone I know, no one I know has ever gone out of business because Facebook shut down their account forever. And even if Facebook shuts down their accounts, dude, you can get like 20 new accounts tomorrow from other countries to start running those ads. Yeah, it'll cost you a penny, like probably 100, 200, $500,000 to do that. But if you wanted to run that shit, it's not a problem. I remember I was talking to one of the guys who ran campaigns for V-Shreds. You guys may or may not agree with their ethical practices, but they did at one point, literally in a week, they would churn through like 15 accounts, 20 accounts. So talk about them worrying about accounts. They didn't even blink an eye. They're like, okay, who's like, they literally had systems to go create new account, like acquire new accounts, create new accounts, whatever it was. So for whatever it is worth, whether you get this account back or not, there is always a new account that you can go in. Do all the work on.
That's our last like option. Like we want to see, we're gonna get on a call with them tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if we don't get it back, we have another option. We're gonna start a new account. So it's just
the worst case
has to do it. That's all. It takes time to run.
The worst case in advertising is you'll just go back and start a new account or find someone else's account and use that account.
Mhm.
So many different ways to do it.
Yeah.
And if you find the right agency, I don't know if you've ever used an agency. There are agency guys who have access to all that shit pretty quickly.
Yeah, I want to make friends with someone at Google Ads who works with Google Ads and just like get close with them,
Yeah, that pays off. Truly does.
Yeah.
Because then you get an inside route into getting your thing audited properly rather than randomly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, if you're going to scale, this is going to be a problem all the time. So you almost have to take it as part of the deal.
Yeah, of course.
And you are going to, if you're spending, what are you spending, like 40, 50K last month?
Yeah, around that 40K, yeah.
Yeah, when you get to that mark, you will have these problems. So might as well just get used to creating new accounts and running with them as they come.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right. You want to go next, Manny?
sure. Yeah. So yeah, we've been running the Evergreen webinar right now. And one of the things I was looking back at last month and I realized, man, we should probably conduct like 4 price tests at the same time on that freaking, like, rather than do these sequential tests on pricing, which don't really give us, if this data is so slow, we should, as I was looking at the data, I was like, oh, for me to identify what will be the perfect price, it's just not worth it. Like I should just more, for me to try and keep doing tests all the time, it would be so much better if I just recorded like 5-10 different pricing and just put it all in there and run 5x the traffic and see what happens, what comes out of it.
That's true. Yeah. Then you can. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because then you get very quick data on what's happening. One thing I noticed, and this is something really interesting, I did a live webinar of my Quantum Leap slides. The same slides that the VSL is based off of, exact same slides, but it was a live webinar. Okay. Now, Quantum Leap slides, like, or the Quantum Leap VSL, our call conversion on it is really low. So maybe 1% of leads convert to a call, which is bad, really bad. But the same VSL done in a webinar, we had 40 people show up on the call and 10 people booked the call and we closed 5 sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
No difference.
I mean, there's got to be some difference, right? I mean,
Same exact thing, except that it's interactive and people are, interacting with the concepts there and they're like being able to understand them. So it goes slower than me just talking through and through. So
then
if I'm
that's
just talking through and through, it's 25 minutes. But if I'm interacting with them and getting them to respond, it takes almost an hour. But yeah, 40 people, 10 calls, 300. Last time I checked on the last stats, like 300 views in the last few weeks and 3 calls last couple of weeks and 3 calls from that. So it's like, what the fuck?
well, then that is the difference, right?
Well, there is a difference, but it doesn't tell me like what is the difference.
Well, you gotta engineer how can you make the recorded more like the real, right?
It would be way longer. That's the first thing. It won't be 25-minute, 20-minute VSL like most people
Right.
do. It'd be more like an hour-long thing. And I would just even put up the current recorded one better than
Yeah.
whatever damn VSL
Well,
is.
okay. That's step one. Step one is replace your VSL with the recorded webinar
Yeah.
and see what happens, because you should get better results, right?
Yeah.
You might not get as good of results, but you should get better. And then
Yeah.
if you don't get significantly better results, then you can see what still is different, right? I mean, because there's got to be, if you can nail down all the differences, right, then you can make it so that you can automate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, quote unquote differences. The script, like the slides are the same, the script is the same. Only difference is the way it's delivered.
Have
So
you
I
ever
don't know if you
considered,
guys have tried, huh?
have you ever considered hiring like a professional voice actor to try to run the VSL?
No, not really. No.
It's not
Why?
a bad
I mean,
idea.
I don't know. I mean, like I know that I tend to speak really fast, and I'm not saying you speak fast, but that's like the way it kind of, I think hiring a professional voice actor to try it out and see if it has a lot more engagement. And I'm not sure if you say, hey, like if you say part of your story, like, hey, this is my story, this is what I do, that would be an issue, obviously. But
yeah, there's elements of that for sure in there. Hmm.
But it doesn't matter because they don't have to connect the voice if it's
With
cold
me.
leads, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
doesn't
know
matter.
how much of a performance is based on the person speaking. I think it has a decent amount, right? The way the person speaks, but just a thought.
Yeah, that's true. That might be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Is
would
it because, is it just about slowing things down? Because, yeah, I think the VSL is sped up, like 10%, 20% sped up compared to the normal. That might be a problem, and that might be the real reason why people don't even gather the concepts.
I mean,
Or
it's just speech cadence, tonality. Like
right.
a professional speaker has a lot of experience in engaging the person through their voice, and it's a variable that we haven't taken into account yet based on your performance that could improve things.
And when you're doing the longer webinar, maybe you're speaking with more emotion because
yeah.
you're live,
More
right?
natural.
And
Yeah.
more
and so
emotion,
people are
more
connecting with that. Yeah.
more conviction, more connection. All of those things are
Absolutely.
happening for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
I mean, it definitely makes sense to at least swap out the VSL with the recorded webinar as a first test.
Yes.
You know, but yeah,
Yeah.
what Josh is saying might work better.
It's underway. Yeah. It's fascinating, man. Like you would never think shit like this would be happening. Like
Yeah.
40 to 10%, like 10, that's like 25% calls.
Yeah.
And this is 1%.
Yeah.
300 to 3.
I mean, the other factor too, which I think plays into this, is that when people know that it's recorded, they would
Tune out a
skip
little bit.
it. They would, tune out. Exactly. But if they know that it's a webinar, people don't really know how webinars work, right? They're like, are they watching me? Do they know if I'm like not paying attention? Like there's almost this kind of like subconscious, like I need to pay respect to someone who's talking and not ignore them, or you know what I'm saying? Like that, I think that's maybe an element as well.
Yeah, I mean, if I have 100 people on a call versus 100 people on a live call versus 100 people on a recorded webinar, 100 people on a recorded webinar or 200 registered, 100, I would probably get 4 or 5 sales from it. 4, 5, yeah, 5 maybe. But if I had 100 people on a live call, yeah, not that different, maybe 6, 7, 8, like double the performance, I would say. So live would be maybe double the performance of a recorded webinar in general, I would say, in most industries. But this is like 10x more.
Yeah,
That's
you
what's
might
like
even be.
totally throwing me off. Like 10x.
I mean, you might even
same
be trying
content.
to. Yeah, maybe you're even trying to solve a problem that you don't need to solve. I mean, if you have to jump on a webinar once a week.
Yeah, that's
that,
not a problem. It's not about the
right.
once a week problem. The problem is that people don't show up after. So this is because we did it a month later. Like I hadn't done a live webinar in a month, so we got 40 people. But if I start doing webinar every freaking week, the show up rates go down, and then I hate to do a webinar with like 15 people on it. It's just not fun.
That means you just need
And
to.
it's not even like getting us enough. The problem with live these days, like webinars, show up rates are like 10-15% of the registered.
Right.
Which is shit.
Yeah, but that just means you need to just push more people into the webinar every week if you did a weekly one.
Yeah, but with the show up rates being that shitty, the cost, like,
oh, I see. Your cost is higher on.
Yeah, because I did that for Focus Blocks for a while. Like I was doing live webinars for a few weeks.
Yeah, but
not a few, a couple of months, like running paid media through it, right? And it got to the point where like the show up rates and everything combined, like we were just basically breaking even on all of that effort after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like, yeah, we're spending money on ads, but because only 10%, 15% people are showing up, we end up not making as much money as we should.
Here's where your math is wrong though. Okay. Because you're saying that there's a 10x increase on the live versus the VSL, right? Like, right. But here's the problem. What's the show up rate to the VSL versus the webinar?
What is the show up rate in VSL? As soon as someone registers, they go in and do it.
Right. But you're
Yeah.
counting. So, okay. So let's say that you have 100 people that come in, right? Two groups of 100 people, right? One to the VSL, one to the webinar. All right.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at the webinar, right? You're already only getting a show up rate of 10 to 15%. So the people that are on that webinar are already filtered out. There's 10 to 15 people there, right? And so when you
Mm-hmm.
get really good performance from that, you compare that to the VSL where you're assuming that, you had 100 people registered and then 80 people watch the VSL. So there's the issue
No,
right
but
there.
we can do the math on it. You'll still see there's a big gap, because if you do the math, you'll see 15% show up rate, right? If you do the math from like cold hard paid media standard, right? A VSL, Quantum Leap VSL, 100 people go through it, one call booked, right? I paid $1,000, one call booked.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay, you're doing it from the
Yeah,
100
from
people.
ground bare bones, right? 100 people through a webinar, 15% show up, 15 people show up,
Mm-hmm.
and 25% of those book a call.
Mm-hmm.
That's already like 3 people booking a call, 3 to 4 people booking a call. So it's already 4x bigger than what you're getting with VSL.
Yeah, but also, I mean, at that sample size, it is still not statistically significant. I mean, it's
Well,
within
it happened. Like I've done so many lives
enough
at this
time.
point,
Yeah,
man. Like I
yeah.
have done 30, 40 live webinars at this point, and it doesn't vary much from that.
Then
Like we
yes,
do get 20% live on the
so
lives compared to
yeah, swap out the VSL with the live, and then I mean, then you're gonna get at least a lot of good data.
VSL with live. And currently, I'm running a test whether
What
VSL versus recorded live.
No, the recorded live. That's what I'm saying. Is like,
Yeah,
yeah, the one that you just did. Like, just test that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
That's basically the test that I'm running. It's just mind blowing how off these numbers are, how big the variance is on these things, how big the gap is on these things
yeah.
in terms of what you get with something that's done live versus something that's recorded. How different, how amazingly different. You guys ever do any lives?
I did like
No, I've never done a live.
I
Never
did
done a
too.
live. Wow.
Yeah, I've been doing those events. Like, I did a Second Bright Network one where I
Yeah.
sell the tickets for $30, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I had like 30 people show up.
Good. How
And
many
then,
bought?
well, so what they got at the end was a 15-minute call with me, and then I think the first time I did it, I made 3 sales at $3,000, and then the second time I've made 2 sales at $3,000. There's some that are still like potentially in the pipe, but
Okay. So 30 people who showed up, but how many people bought the tickets, the entry?
oh, no, that's how many people bought tickets. I mean, if you paid
Okay.
$30, you're pretty much showing up, right?
No,
And there's a
no.
few people that didn't show
60,
up that.
70% show ups, maybe. That's good. If you're getting 80, 90, 100% show up. That's good. So 30
If you
people showed up. Yeah, you
if you
pay 30
charge
bucks, you
people,
don't
they're going to
always.
show up, right?
Yeah, but not like 100%, more like 60, 70%.
Yeah,
You'll be
which
way better than 10, 15%.
yeah, that could be a
Webinar.
good solution for your show up problem, is charge them $5 for the webinar.
Well, that's the other thing I've been working on, like possibly a low ticket offer, just to get them to use focus blocks for a
Yeah,
few days period of time, like through like some sort of a challenge or a something along those lines, and
yeah,
then make them go through the entire webinar, but just like as if it's a training, but then say, okay, now go use focus blocks because you get focus blocks for the next 5 days or 7 days for free. So
yeah.
then we're going to charge for that, but I don't want to do it right now until I figure out this quantum leap craziness. But that's on the radar. But okay, so I want to understand the numbers before I jump into that shit. So you get 30 people, And you did
Actually,
a full-blown
just-
webinar?
Hold on, I just looked at it. It's not 30 people. Let me see. It's the first one was 19. This second one was 23.
What is nine? That's tickets sold. 23.
Yeah,
Okay.
tickets sold. Yep.
Uh,
And here I had 3
Okay.
sales, I believe, and then I think this one is 2 sales so far.
how many calls booked?
I think actually on this one, I don't think I even booked calls. I think I just I think I just sent them an email saying, here,
Huh.
here's a discount, a special. I'll have to go back and watch this one and see what I did at the end of that one. But I think there was like 10 calls booked from this one.
So you just pitched a strategy
Yeah.
call with them.
Yeah.
23 show-ups, 10 calls. I would love to know how many tickets how many ticket show-ups to how many show-ups really. Tickets sold, show-ups, 10 calls booked. 10 calls booked is really good. That's 40% of people who bought the ticket booked a call.
Yeah.
And you already closed 20% of them.
Yeah.
And you have a couple more you think you might get?
I think so. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this session I did
And
and I'm going to do this just as a webinar, just for free. I'm going to get people in for free, right? Try that out and then
hang on, just as a recorded webinar?
No, just as a regular webinar. I'm
You're
just
gonna do it live?
Do it live, yep, and just try it. I'm gonna do a free, see how many people I can
Oh
get,
yeah.
right, and then
Oh yeah,
see
you're
what
gonna get
the numbers
you're
are.
gonna get really good conversions on live.
Yeah,
That's interesting. But that's good, man. Those 23 to 2, because if you liquidate your ad costs on that, if you really run traffic to it, and you get people buying a $30 ticket and maybe you spend $50 to acquire the customer, it's really good. $400 to get 2 sales.
yeah.
$400
Yeah.
to get 10 calls booked. That's legit.
I didn't. Yeah,
Nobody
this one-
complained that nobody said it's a pitch.
No, they're happy about it. Yeah,
Perfect. That's the way you want it to be. Yeah.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So it's like you're running a workshop, a paid workshop,
Basically, yeah,
just
yeah,
just through Bright Live. But if you actually wrote a full-blown sales page for it and ran traffic to it, you potentially get the same. Well, maybe not, because this is your warm audience, right?
I mean, yeah, it was through my email list, so. And I think I
Yeah.
did a promotion on Instagram too.
But through it's still your audience, not ads,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, it's not ads. Yeah. There might have been some people that came from Bright itself because they ran some, promos for it too, which was kind of why I signed up for this thing. Was I thought, okay, if they can bring me people, then that's worth it. So
It's good. And this is one option. But then, yeah, as long as you're doing the same content inside the workshop as it is a webinar, it makes
Yeah.
total sense to do it. Or even if you're not, but if it's converting, it's pretty good. Yeah. What are your current conversions on like VSL views to calls booked?
let me see what we're looking at. It's hard to track the numbers now because we have a lot of other sources.
No, but VSL views. Just
Yeah, but
blanket.
let me see.
If you look at last month, these many views, these many booked calls, these many calls, these many sales. What was the breakdown?
Looks like, what is this? This is from 9/19. Oh, this needs to be updated for this week, but landing page hits was 150, book setter calls was 17.
That's really good. 10% right there.
But see, I don't know if all those came from, I mean, some people might have been from DMs. Like these ones may have come out of this number, which I think
You're
they
pretty
did.
close to 10% here, man. Like I'm looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
Pretty close to 10% on landing page hits for book calls.
Yeah. I just don't know. Like I said, I think the book calls may have come from DMs directly as well too. So
Well, it says book from IGDMs in the next column, right?
yeah. Yeah, but I have to clarify with them. I have a meeting today. I'm gonna kind of go over some of these numbers, but
Yeah.
and then we have some
Yeah.
LinkedIn ones that have come through now.
LinkedIn what? DMs?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I do like on LinkedIn now. So I do I've got a guy that's posting on LinkedIn too, but I do one post every week myself. And then so basically like I did this post yesterday on LinkedIn, 4 ways you make money in real estate. And then I put a poll if you're interested. And then at the end of it, just shoot me a message, leave a comment below and say real estate and I'll send you the video. And so there's not a lot of comments on here, but
I think the more you do this, the more it'll start to build because you're just starting to do this
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, right?
yeah, some of them
It'll
I've
take
gotten
some time to build some sort of credibility there.
like this was one when I was 20 years old. I got my dream job. This one I think we had a few comments. But we had a lot of people just message, right? So a lot of people just end up messaging on there. So
It's good.
yeah, it's like so yeah, so that's kind of the funnel for that. But
Yeah, it's good, man.
Are you making those posts or is someone else making them for you?
they're taking some of my reels and putting the videos up, but then I'm making the text posts once a week.
Wait, they are making the text posts or you are creating?
I'm making the text posts once a week. Yeah. So but yeah, so I also we just got the team up running paid Facebook ads. So I think the first calls are coming in today. So we'll see how those do. And if we can get some closes there, get that profitable. But the sales team is up. Salespeople are hired. We've got everything in place. So
You guys running it already, the funnel?
Yep.
How much are you paying per lead right now?
I'm not doing a pay per lead. I'm doing a percentage. So we switched the model because the pay per lead was just dumb.
No, but on Facebook. I don't care about that.
I don't know yet. It's too early to know on the numbers. Let me see if there's any kind
No. Is it running from your accounts?
Yeah, but it's too
So-
early to know what's coming through yet.
Oh, you just started running it today, huh?
We just started running it, like a day or two ago, so we don't know exactly what
No.
because there's a lag on this kind of-
Reporting.
Yeah. So
Yeah. How much are you guys spending right now?
I think it's just like $100 a day right now. So I got to talk with the team on that too, figure out what the plan is. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what I've been up to. I also got I finally finished Connor Murphy's launch. It didn't do very well. We only did like 12K in sales.
Ooh. How many? Hang on. How big was the list though?
List was only like 4,000. So
okay.
I would still expect better results, but I mean, he's got a huge YouTube and Instagram audience, but we just didn't get very much conversions on that. So I think we left the sales page up and we might see some.
What's your rationale as to why that is, you think?
I think it's a combination of things. I think one is that he lost a lot of trust with his audience, right? I think that was one of the things. A lot of people just saw him as this crazy guy.
When did he do that?
When did he do what?
The crazy shit?
Last year, basically.
See, what he could have done, John, is like he should have made before he started posting content on like how to helping him be confident. He should have done a video series of like more in depth about like the lessons he learned and like a redemption arc. You know what I mean?
He did actually. Well, he did one last week. I don't know if you've watched the video, but it's really, really good. It's like one of the best videos I've ever seen. It's just fucking good. I'll put it in the chat, but it's long, but I would watch this video. Like it's like seriously just a really, really good video. And
Are you
that's why I
gonna
think we're starting to see some sales come in now just from the straight up sales page without any push.
invest more effort into this now?
No, I think we're just going to leave it kind of on the autopilot now. And
Why did he post it on his Conor Murphy Talks video if it's such a good video, not his main channel?
because that one is themed for more of that kind of stuff, and the other one is the pranks stuff. But I think he should have posted on the main channel, and I might tell him to just repost this on the main channel too. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just I think also that again, list size is.
I mean,
part
but
of it
his
too.
traffic, his audience is huge, so list size may or may not matter because they're all
Yeah.
people coming in pre-selected for that specific purpose. They're not like coming in for anything else, right?
But his audience isn't getting he doesn't get as many views on the videos, right? So even though his audience is big, like he's got 2 million subscribers, on most of the promotion videos he only got 20-30K views, which is not it's not a
It's not
ridiculously
bad.
small.
I mean,
it's not bad.
if you got 20-30K views on your video, you probably sell a shit ton of whatever you're trying
Oh
to
yeah,
promote on that one.
I'd crush it. But you got to realize that people are coming for different reasons. I mean, a lot of his audience is they're just coming for prank videos. So
Yeah, that's why like anyone who opts in, they are a little more serious than random people.
yeah.
That part is true.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the pricing also might have been high for that particular audience. That $500 price point. I think a $200 price point might have worked a little bit better there, or a really high price point, like a high ticket offer where he's selling a 12-week self-confidence program. Because what he has is a lot of revolutionary kind of systems. Like he could easily sell teach a 12-week course on all of the kind of techniques that he has. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll probably do a relaunch like in 6 months or so once he builds up the list to around 10-20,000 people. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's no smoking gun you guys have with regards to fixing this.
Now, I think the messaging may also be off too. It's like I was talking to Connor about it, and I think part of the issue is that so the messaging that we used was this, get girls, get laid type of, build your confidence and, stop being socially awkward, right? That kind of bro-ish kind of. But the problem is that I think those people are not paying $500 for the program. And whereas I think it's a larger portion of his audience that message might hit, but those are like the college kids, 20-year-old kids that don't have $500. Whereas what we talked about is potentially changing the message so that the message is more of a spiritual enlightenment type of message, which is what he's talking about now anyway, and more about as opposed to being confident in getting girls, like being free from the judgment of others in the world, and being like totally free. And then targeting that audience where it's a smaller segment, but now we're hitting the guys that are older and understand the concepts and have the money. I think we would have done better, probably tripled the sales if we hit that messaging. But
yeah,
did you guys
like I don't know, because like Casey Zander was able to crush it and do like I think a couple million off of like targeting those young college kids, and his product was like $800.
yeah. That's interesting.
Hey,
How long ago
did you guys
that happen? Or
when I was running my dopamine discipline program, so like when iron was big, so like 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is just that. I mean, but the thing is, I didn't think it was a trust issue with his audience because there were so many positive comments in the audience, and the way that he presented, like in his, in his videos where he would do the prank kind of video, the shirt off video, and then like in the middle of it, he'd be like, this is how I was able to do this, and I struggle with this, and I felt like it was really solid, but yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of
is there any like clips of him with like attractive girls? I know it's important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there were. Let's I can show you guys the stats on the funnel and you can see what you think about it, but let me go back to the 26 here. I mean, technically it ended a couple of days ago, but you can see that we had 13 uniques, 747 on the order page, but then the conversions were low from the order page. So
wow,
that's why I was kind of leaning towards price being a factor there, is because if people are hitting the order page,
yeah,
and then
But they already knew the
buying.
price when they came to the order page, right?
The sales page, did they have did we have the price on the sales page? I don't think we had the price on the sales page. Let me check. Okay, this is where the
So I guess like for
okay,
me,
it does
like
have it.
the
Yeah,
confusion is like what am I getting exactly, like social confidence?
yeah. I mean, the main thing is the social confidence, right? Like if we look at the messaging here, Carnal basically be able to do what he
headline. Yeah.
That's a busy headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of words.
Did you guys talk to like potential customers of Shitcoin before you guys?
We had a pretty big survey that got sent out.
I think it's just too messy, John. Like it's not like streamlined.
Yeah, I mean the VSL is the main, heavy lifter there. This was sort of but
yeah, but that's the problem. Like if you have both, then people will take the easy route and just scroll around and assume whatever.
Yeah.
And this is the long form, and I thought you were doing a product launch formula style, right?
Yeah, I have a call in
Yeah.
the guy in a minute, so I gotta head out, you guys.
Yeah, there was a product launch formula, like we had PLC videos, so
you had all of those too, and
yeah,
even then this thing just part of it is modality too, man. I don't believe those modalities are working anymore.
What? Oh, this way of selling. Yeah, I don't think
$500 sales pages are like they're not crushing it. On the other hand, if we had done a live webinar and sent recordings, that would have been a real thing. If you had live webinar, 100 people on it selling $1,000 product, and then send recordings to it, maybe you'd get more than 100. Like I'm sure on YouTube, like he gets a lot of people watching. This modality is tough now.
Yeah,
tough selling $500 of anything through this modality.
I mean, every time things shift, right? It's like you whatever's working stops working because people have seen enough of it. It gets overdone, it gets overused, overplayed out, and then it just stops working. So that's the thing. It's like
the other thing, like there's so many ways to cut this. Yeah, the headline might be like not so crystal clear, or the page design was also a little dated, right? It's a little more old school page design. So that can so many things, man, with the offer.
Yeah, I mean, I might
Now we
have
don't
picked the
know,
wrong
and you're not.
copywriter, so yeah. I mean, he was an
Yeah.
expensive copywriter, and he was definitely. I mean, he
Are you
definitely
guys?
seemed
Are
like
you guys
he.
in the red or like? Are you guys in the black on this, or after all this
Yeah, I mean,
simultaneous?
I basically made like $1,000 or so, or $2,000, and Connor made like $1,000, I think, or he made like $2,000. I made like 1,000 something, like 17.
Oh my god.
Because I'd pay the copywriter, like $6,000, and this page designer and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so that kind of sucks. But at least I didn't go into the negative. I thought I was going to go into the negative at first.
No, well, no. Uh, why would you do that if you're already assuming negative?
Because I put up the costs. I put up the costs.
Yeah, but I'm sure you were hoping you'd make 30-40K from this launch before
Oh
anything,
yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking.
Given
Yeah.
his list size and given the comments and given all the other people. Yeah, man, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the list size is not, again, compared to the list size, like the sales are not horrible.
Yeah,
I would
not
like to
that
see a little
bad.
bit. Yeah. So, and
Not
that's
that bad, except that the list is coming with a lot of intent because they're basically they know this is what they're coming here for. But yeah, still, like, how much more can you get out of a 4,000 person list? Maybe 20,000, not much
yeah.
more.
Yeah, not much more. No. That's why the list needs to be built up. And then, I think selling from Instagram and YouTube is a little bit different. It should have been like a live thing, which I somehow we skipped the live part of it. Which
Some sort of a video. Yeah. Instead of all of this, if you had just sit on Zoom and connected with the audience with a story, that would have been enough.
Yeah.
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 And then record it and sell it. At least that would be a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I was, when I was talking to you guys about the low ticket offer for this, for Focus Box, I was like, I should not start another game right now. Let me just play the games I already have.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just like not even running Quantum Leap as a game, to be honest. It's a back end game. Like I just constantly trying to get Focus Box to scale.
Right.
And I don't know where I was thinking about this one day on a walk. And it occurred to me like this little idea that when you want to go really fast and you are like when you're trying to go really fast and you want to like play all out, then you have to go with like one game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you
right?
do. You have to go with one.
Just
Yeah.
one thing. Like you go play one game, or you make one thing work, and that's the only way you go really fast. On the other hand, if you want security, right? So this is the difference between like when we have many different things going on, it's because maybe we're okay with like something's not working because we're more interested in security than fast growth.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's when we start to diversify. And in the game of business, like when I'm looking to go fast with Focus Box, there's like diversification is going to kill me, right? But diversification is a great place for people who are looking for security in their business, because then you have many different things going on. It's easier because you're diversified. But that's a different game for a different stage of business or different stage of life.
Yeah. Well, it's
right?
like
Security game.
It's kind of like I've come full circle on this. Exactly what you're saying is like we used to make fun of the YouTubers that were just creators, right? Who did not understand business and sell courses, right? And so there's that kind of evolution of then it's like, okay, so then you have people who are selling courses, they're making money. But guess what? The YouTubers that didn't try to sell courses, that just focused on making everything good YouTube videos, what ended up happening was they got millions of views, millions of subscribers. And so even though they were just making money off of AdSense, they still made a shit ton more money. And then later down the road, right after they had already and they had all these teams and they could hire people to do the other stuff for them, then they made programs, and then they made millions and millions of dollars. So like, we are laughing at those guys thinking, okay, these guys are idiots, they don't know what they're doing, they're just focused on making YouTube videos. And to some degree they didn't have business sense, that's true, but they just focused on the art and went hard, and they stacked enough cash that it doesn't matter, right? So that's what I've come full circle on this, and that's where I'm kind of going back to now. Is I just bought a bunch of equipment, camera equipment and stuff, and I have a YouTube coach that I hired that worked for Mr. Beast, and I'm gonna just focus on making really fucking good videos, because that's the thing, is because the leverage is now. I actually do have the business systems in place, but if you think about it, I mean, I have the ad things going. That's true, but that's kind of, I don't have to do much with that, and we'll see how that goes. But if you really, really think about it, the best possible thing that I could possibly do for my business, now that I have these systems in place with the high ticket program, is to scale my views. If I can 10x my views, I'll 10x my revenue, right? Like, that's the fastest mode to growth, is just to focus on just being the content creator for a while. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the way I would also here's the way I would add to it, which is, maybe it is YouTube, maybe it is whatever you want it to be.
Right. Yeah, it could be
that
anything.
You enjoy, that you will give a lot of energy and time and effort to, and you will get excited about. So whatever that is, whether it is running ads or whether it is doing YouTube organic or Instagram organic or whatever, if you have a proven funnel, then one of those things, like even with Instagram organic, you'll keep doing DMs till you die, or with YouTube organic, you'll figure out how to grow it fast if that's the only thing you do. With ads too, you will figure out.
Yeah, if you can, I mean, it kind of comes down to this one simple rule, which is that if you can be the top 1% at anything in the world, you'll fucking crush it. So that could be YouTube, it could be Instagram, it could be DMing people, it could be running ads, it could be, you just need to have a top 1% skill. If you have that, you'll crush it.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
Yeah,
I think I don't even know if 1% is enough, but yeah, it's more like 0.1 or 0.01% is where you get that.
yeah, I think it's 1% of the people who are actually trying, right? It's like,
fair.
So
it is a very small niche, but you're right. Like, anyone who's outstanding at their craft is the one who will get the lion's share of everything.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And you don't even have to, like, and the thing about it too is, like, if you can do that and go fast, even though there's, like you said, the risk versus diversification, you can stack enough cash that even if you get shut down or whatever, it doesn't matter, because you've made more money than you would have made in 10 years diversifying. That's the thing.
100%.
So,
yeah, it's true. It's fewer things.
Yeah, and if you do it, if you can do that and you can stack cash, right, then you have time. Then you can, like, buy time to figure out the next thing and to not be under the gun, the pressure of on the treadmill. That's what a lot of people that start startups and then sell the startups have been able to do, is just fucking hit it hard, get that stack cash there, and then even if the thing, they exit the thing, and then now they can just sit and think about
now they're going to diversify. Right? So different places in business. Like, when you are looking for fast growth, you must go all in on one thing, and when you're looking for safety, you will diversify. I think those are the two extremes of right. Fast growth almost always assumes very little safety,
right?
But you take that bet, because you're way better taking that bet than trying to take the slow growth path, which will never go anywhere. You'll be safe in nothing, basically.
Exactly.
So you have to take the fast growth path at some point or another to go for massive scale. And then after whatever quote unquote liquidation event you want to call it, whether it's selling a startup or you making tons of money, then it's better. Then it's never better, or may or may not be, yeah, but then you can have multiple different things, but then you will never go all in on one thing again, and you will never feel that rush, right?
Yeah.
Because that rush only comes from going all in on that damn thing and just be like a hawk.
I got to jump off. I got another call coming up here. But on that.
Yeah. Cool,
All
man.
right.